this video, I'm going to swap out the tires I'm using on my touring bike. I'll be going from Schwalbe Marathon Green Guard tires, replacing them with Schwalbe Marathon Almotion tires. The Almotion tires can be run tubeless, and the Astral rims that my Almotion Americano came equipped with are also tubeless compatible, so I thought I would give tubeless tires a go. The Marathon Green Guards I have been using have been my first experience with Schwalbe tires. They still have plenty of remaining tread, even after almost 6,000 miles, and I've had 0 flat tires with them. They have proven to be very reliable. My complaint with the Marathons is they are stiff and provide a pretty harsh ride on rough pavement and gravel roads. The Almotions are made from a more pliable material, they are lighter, and can be run at a lower pressure to cushion the ride a bit. But they are not as puncture resistant as the Marathon Green Guards, and that is of concern. The big question is, will the Almotions fit? They are ISO-spec'd at 622 by 40, and the stock Marathons are 622 by 37. There is limited extra space available on my frame, but on paper there's only a 3mm difference in width, so I'm hoping they will fit. I've also got fenders, which may present a challenge. They can be removed if needed, although they are nice to have when it rains, and it does rain sometimes. To accomplish this task, I have the new tires, rim tape, sealant, a sealant injector tool, and the new valve stems required for the tubeless conversion. I also have a small automotive air compressor I can use to inflate the new tires if needed. Getting the bead to seat on tubeless tires can be difficult with a floor pump. The Green Guard Marathons come off with some minor wrestling. They have a stiff bead, thick sidewalls, and a fairly heavy road tread. Comparatively, the Almotion, which is a folding tire, has a more minimal bead and marginally thinner sidewall and tread material. The Marathon Green Guard certainly feels more robust than the Almotion. I removed the existing rim tape from the inside of the rim, as I'm not sure if the existing tape is adequate for tubeless. Then I cleaned the rim with rubbing alcohol prior to installing 2 layers of tubeless rim tape. The new Almotion tire is then installed on the rim. It takes quite a bit of effort to get these Almotion tires on the rim, as they are a tight fit, even more so than the tight-fitting Green Guard Marathons. I didn't use any soap on the bead, which probably would have helped, but in all of my years of wrenching on bikes, I've never needed to use it before. These tires were probably the most difficult I've ever installed. I did do it by hand without using a tire lever, as I've always done. Soap and a tire lever might have helped here, but I didn't want to stress the bead or disrupt how the bead sits on the rim. As the tubeless Almotions are such a tight fit, I did not need to use an air compressor to get the bead to seat. I used my floor pump to get the tire initially seated on the rim without using any sealant yet. There's a distinct ping sound when the tire bead seats into the rim channel. After getting the bead seated and the tire up to pressure, I deflate the tire and remove the valve stem core. I then use the injector tool to install the sealant inside the tire. After the sealant is added, I pump up the tire again and move the wheel around to get the sealant to disperse. It's also a good idea to ride the bike around a bit once the tires and wheels are reinstalled. This will help distribute the sealant around the rim and tire interior. Amazingly enough, the tires fit just fine, clearing the rear frame stays and fenders, with only a slight decrease in tire clearance. Being tubeless, there is no weight of an inner tube, less fear of pinch flats if you run the tires at lower PSI, and possibly lower rolling resistance. Per the tubeless installation process, the tires have enough liquid sealant installed inside them to potentially seal small punctures, minimizing the occurrence of flat tires. This self-healing tubeless talk all sounds good in theory, but let's see what the reality is on a touring bike. I'm going to do a lot of local rides on these tires before using them on any remote tour routes. If there is any issue with the durability and puncture resistance, or lack of, I'd like to know sooner than later. Of course, you can always install an inner tube if a major flat occurs, but with the sealant installed to the tubeless tire, that scenario could get messy. Roadside repairs are difficult enough. Also, the tires are such a tight fit on the rim, making removing the tires difficult, and that could add to roadside frustrations. 3 weeks later, and I've done more than a dozen local rides and have put over 200 miles on these new tires. They ride very nice and have added a noticeable level of comfort. They do a better job absorbing vibrations and are smoother when riding over small bumps, rough pavement, and gravel surfaces. I don't feel they're any faster than the Green Guards though. The traction seems comparable to the Green Guards too, but with a bit of an improvement on gravel surfaces. The tread is also a little noisier on downhill runs and at higher speeds. No issues with the reduced frame and fender clearance between the tires. My only concern is the durability and potential hassle of flat repair if the sealant alone does not do an adequate job when a puncture occurs. I'm a few months away from any multi-day tours, and I'm undecided whether I would risk riding remote areas with these tires. Time will tell. I'll check back with an update on these tires in the near future. Thanks for watching.